Welcome to the Burning Pallets podcast, sponsored by Texsource. Here's your host, Ryan Boland.
What's happening, guys? Ryan here with Burning Pallets. To my right, as always, Mike Coy.
Hey, everybody.
I don't want to say it's a co-host, but anyways, welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us again. Another little podcast with One Up. Talking about all things screen printing, the Printing United trade show from Vegas. I didn't go. Mike had the opportunity to hang out in the show for a couple of days, enjoy and talk like all the other crazies do. There should be a word for you guys who just love to be at trade shows. I like the trade shows, but it gets long anyways. But talk about all things trade show today, some new stuff, bad stuff, who's taking over, who owns what, who's doing what. And as always, it's a Friday for us. We'd like doing podcasts on Fridays, so we just bullshit the last couple hours of the day, so we don't have to actually do any work.
Yeah.
No beer this time. Last time was with last call for Plastisol. Hopefully, we'll see you guys again in the booth.
Yeah, I didn't see beer in the booth at the trade show when they were podcasting. So I don't know if they
might have been too busy running around. It's kind of hard to grab a beer and stay on task.
It could have been early in the morning, and you know how expensive those beers are.
Well, they give out free beers, I thought.
Do they?
I guess certain vendors in their booth will host the beer tub girl or vodka person or whatever, bartender.
Yeah. I didn't see any free beer going around in Vegas.
Well.
They were there, so I stopped by the booth a couple times and talked to them. They were interviewing some people that I knew, from the internet. So I sort of interrupted their podcast, and they were like, "Hey," So yeah, I kind of trolled on them a bit.
It's probably counterproductive to be doing your podcast at the trade show, drinking, and then having to pee every 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, unless you are set up by the bathroom, which if you know anything about these trade shows, after a good day or so, it's not really a spot to be.
It's a good place to be because of the traffic, but it's a bad place to be at the same time. It's a double whammy.
Yeah, maybe an ozone filter or something that would pull some of that off of there. But you're right. Yeah, bathrooms actually would be a high traffic area. But yeah, Vegas.
It'd be good for a soap person, like a Xenex or someone who's doing a lot of soap, like hand sanitizer. Here's a squirt after you come out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe we got a little side business here. We'll just show up at all the trade shows right by the bathroom, and we'll sell our soap products.
Anything new at the show that you saw? I mean, it's to me, it's all the same. There is obviously DTF like always, but
yeah, I mean, DTF is definitely starting to really dominate the shows. You're seeing less and less actual screen printing equipment there, and even the companies that are demoing screen printing equipment, you're seeing less autos, you're seeing less manuals, and more digital. So the DTF super strong in this show. Everybody's brother's got a DTF now. People directly from China are starting to showcase over there. And then
over here.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, over here in these trade shows. And what I saw more of this trade show than I did like at Long Beach was the DTF UV, which are those stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be really hot. That's not going away anytime soon. So
I'm starting to get a lot of emails from like the Graphics Pro and all these screen printing magazines talking about your DTF webinar, your DTF UV webinar. It is what it is.
It's definitely got its space, and I'm glad it's a space that we're in now. It seems like, I don't know, even in the last month or so, the interest for DTF among our customers and our constituents, the interest is getting up really high.
It's been a lot. The interest for DTF has always been high for the past couple of years. It's getting, it's like a slow period for all equipment. autos, manuals, any equipment. Seemed like from February, March, up until right up to end of July, seemed kind of dead. But we're seeing a freaking influx of people wanting equipment, autos, DTFs, all kinds, manuals, dryers. The past 2 months, we put in tons and tons of stuff. So it's something is picking up out there. Something is.
Yeah, it could be the end of the year because you have the tax thing, but we're in an election cycle that always plays, some sort of role
Yeah.
in people making financial decisions. What the Fed dropped the interest rate by half a point, which is a very large chunk as far as what people can finance things at. So maybe that will bring more people into the fold, but it's one of those things where we go through cycles, and you have to ride the waves of what the consumer market is, or the business market is demanding, which is relative to what the consumers are doing, I suppose, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's picked up a lot.
Yeah.
This equipment, it's been a ton, which is definitely showing something. Whether, like you're saying, it's the end of the year, but I mean, it really started picking up in August. We're in September now, maybe end of July. But anyways, maybe people had a good summer and they decided to do a little more.
Or a busy summer, and this is a game of seeing what's out there and what your capabilities are and what your customers' needs are. And I think a lot of these screen printers on the DTF thing are seeing some of their business slide out the door. You got that twofold. Some of them are seeing it slide out the door, and now they're like, hey, we've been watching the DTF for a while, just like they did direct to garment. And direct to garment never, I think, really got itself into most screen printing businesses. A lot of ones that bought them, they ended up being just boat anchors.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of that angst was translated into DTF, where now I see people thinking like, we have to do something or we're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
And so what we're sitting here mid-September, 2/3 of the way through September, the first third of October 11th, we're going to have another DTF. It's a workshop, right? Like a one-day
DTF workshop.
Yeah, and that's going to be a great opportunity for people to just come in and dip their toe, but really see what it's going to be like to operate one, get over some of that fear, and get their orders in for trying to get their machines by the end of the year.
Yeah, it'll be tricky trying to get all of it in. But yeah, class October 11th. Here at Texsource in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, right outside of Charlotte. You're a 30-minute ride from the airport. We're throwing out whatever you want to do to come in, try check out the class. Like Mike's saying, dip your toe into DTF. We'll have a little bit of a PowerPoint crap. We'll have a whole realm of things. We'll show you guys a little bit of an AI side, a little bit of the AI side of artwork, how to do I don't want to say do prompts. We'll combine AI and artwork together in this DTF class, along with your machine installation of what we carry. Show you guys that. We will be doing routine maintenance.
Yeah,
showing you guys the maintenance part of it.
Printing the transfers and pressing.
Last but not least, we'll print through the machine. We'll transfer on shirts, hats, koozies, just the norm. So class October 11th. Side note, but back to the trade show. You said the Chinese seem like they're taking over the booths that typically your main vendors would be having.
Yeah, it seems like the Chinese manufacturers are getting more, ballsy. Yeah, just trying to come straight to and sell direct like a business consumer.
Let them sell direct. Sweet. Tell them to. But when they try to watch that video or read that manual in Chinese,
well, I think where they're going
good luck.
Where they're falling short right now is that a lot of them their booth is is not up to kind of like what Americans expect.
It
It
is
looks like it's been lived in for a while.
disheveled.
Yeah.
Is it disheveled?
Disheveled, yes.
Disheveled.
Um,
A disheveled boot.
you saw a lot of that. And then some of the quality I was seeing of the DTF UV. I saw a powderless DTF, and I actually got some samples of that. And um, I think that's going to be one of those. I don't think that's ready for prime time,
It
powderless.
wasn't demure enough.
Yeah, there's some problems inherently with that I actually discussed with some of the people on the ink side, because you're putting adhesive in the ink now, and then that's supposed to activate. Well, anytime you add any base to these pigments, you already have to have the base, for it to come out of there. Now you're adding adhesive, you're weakening the pigment. So
I see another problem that they have. They don't have a domicile here, so they can't live.
yes,
and
yes, they have to jump in and jump out, and they don't have established. I think that's, that was one of the factors in one of the machines that we represent, our two-head machine, is that they actually have boots on the ground. And that was, big for us, because if there's something that we just can't handle, or we need to call the manufacturer, we have people here in the States. And a lot of guys have to do I see it on the internet all the time. It's, we got to stay up till 2 a.m. so we can call China to get some FaceTime.
Seems like adding the powder to the ink add a lot of debris to it. Doesn't seem.
Yeah, it's a liquid adhesive, but like I said, the color was suspect, and that was when I started asking questions, I could tell like they were, when these manufacturers go to the show and they've got something sitting there and you ask them about it, but they're just trying to get a feel whether this will fly or not. That's what I
was trying to hit all 4 words. I mean, I feel like I did pretty well.
The D words.
Yeah.
We have disheveled, or the way I used to say it before today, disshuffled. I made that shit up. It's just,
So somehow we got on the D word, like these odd words coming up. So I tried to hit all 4.
domicile or domicile.
I don't know how it came up, but we started talking before the podcast. If y'all see it, I don't know, but
Demure.
Yeah.
And then the other notoriously bad pronunciation I had for debris, which was Durbus, the first time I said it in high school in a scuba class. And once you're embarrassed like that, you never live it down.
never forget it.
Yeah. But Vegas, I met Elvis. I don't know. I interviewed Elvis.
I saw that.
Yeah.
He looked like he was.
Elvis was much shyer than what I was expecting. So
He was like, "Who is this person talking to me? I don't have time for this."
No, I had to get permission
Really?
from his management team to actually interview him.
You asked him the obvious question: "You're dead, but how are you alive?"
Yeah. Yeah. You saw that?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to get him in one of our Texsource posts, but the people who sponsored it was another supplier.
Who was it?
I don't know. They were like, I was supposed to tag him and I didn't, and they're probably going to sue me.
Waste of money.
But no, Elvis, I'm telling you, when Elvis
He did good.
Yeah, I mean, everybody came and took a picture with Elvis, and then the 2 showgirls, and the guy, like off camera when he wasn't doing his impersonation, actually a really nice guy. He had been doing this for a long time. He even has like the Elvis I got fat, like little gut, that's coming out. So I
noticed that.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I mean,
He had
it's
it showing?
really, yeah, it was
Oh, wow.
coming out of his like jumpsuit a little bit. And I have to appreciate that. I mean, that's, you're going to extra effort if you're willing to carry that little extra fudge around the waist.
I don't think it's extra effort. I mean, it's pretty easy to just keep that on.
Well, I mean, but you got to keep it without getting out of control. I mean, how do you manage a certain size of
Of a gut?
a gut? You know, where it's just right there.
Yeah, you could be a new fitness program, how to manage a certain gut size instead of
Yeah.
having to be work out all the time and eat this and eat this. Just have a new fitness program, eat a certain new fitness program for a certain gut size.
Yeah,
Little pudge.
guts are us.
Yeah.
But I approached him and I said, hey, you know, would you do something for me? I think it'd be funny. The company I work for is Texsource. And could you say, like, hey, I may be the king of rock and roll, but the king of screen printing supplies is Texsource, right?
Yeah.
So I thought you guys would get a kick out of it.
Did he
And
do
then
it?
right
Okay.
away, this guy came up to me and he's like, hey, what are you doing here? And Elvis guy told me, like, hey, you gotta, you I'll take a picture with you, but to interview me, you got to get permission. So I went over and talked to the guy. He's a supply company and they supply all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, that's probably, you know, we could get sued for that. Like you're hired by one company, another, it tells you that they're better. But
I don't. You could just AI that and just.
Yeah, I am telling you, when Elvis came walking down from the front all the way back, the first video I shot, I'm sitting there editing videos for, you know, Texsource. I'm trying to post as I go. And I'm sitting there, and then I immediately pull my camera up, and I hear the dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. He's coming down, and he's walking. And he looks at me and, you know, thumbs up. I got goosebumps, like legit goosebumps. I was like, this is so sad that I'm fanboying a dead, you know, guy's impersonator. But it was the first time I kind of felt like, yeah, this is a Vegas thing.
Vegas, yeah.
Besides the, you know, the prostitutes and drug dealers on the strip. That was the good feeling.
Did you gamble while you were there?
I did. I dropped $200 and did not. And sadly, my wife doesn't know this, but she doesn't watch the podcast. She'll watch my small content. But the first night I got there, I was up to $700 with this 200.
Dang.
I just was hitting. I was hitting everything, right?
Yeah. Are you playing slots or what are you doing?
Slots, yeah.
Okay.
And then by the end, I sadly, you know, just pissed every penny of it back to the same, you know, the Strat I stayed at, the Stratosphere, the real tall tower there.
I'm going to make sure to tag her in this.
Yeah, you'll tag her in this. And then I said, like, send me more money because I didn't want to like spend my own. I wanted her to take money out of savings that she guards because she knows I can't. And she was like, no, literally.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that.
I would have went and gambled. I would have.
Would you have played like blackjack?
No, I don't play any slots. I do blackjack or
you do craps?
the craps table. Yeah.
So do you know how to, like, you know, play the field in craps, or you just sticking around?
Used to a long time ago.
You play the field. You know, you line up the field once the points
But I
established.
used to play a long time ago when we would do those trips more often in college.
Yeah.
But I've forgotten how to do the craps. Blackjack's always, you know what to do. But I would have gambled. I would have had fun.
Well, you would have come back owing money, or the debtors would have followed us here or something.
I would have owed.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyways, so trade show is what it is. It's unfortunately, trade show is. Never mind.
They're not what they used to be.
I was going to go down that path, but I don't want to.
Yeah, they're not what they used to be, but they're definitely an opportunity for
Free stuff and cheap equipment.
No, for companies to, and for people, more importantly, to make connections, and for you to meet like insiders, people that are, you know, sort of the fabric of the industry, if you will. And that's why, you know, me personally, it's good to go because you always meet new people and form relationships. Looking back at Long Beach, people like Keith.
Yeah, I saw
Or-
Keith. He was on he did a video the other day.
Did he?
Yeah, on International Coatings. I don't know, Killer Matrix reposted it. It was pretty cool on
Yeah.
International Coatings and PMS book. So yeah, Keith 100%, like you're saying, you form those relationships. He was a fun guy. And he will email us every now and again. He got married,
Yeah.
keeps us updated. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's a guy that's been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think those relationships, even with some of the other vendors and some of the people that we sell their products, when you get to know people, then that helps you, when you're trying to figure out things, because you've got someone to go to. And in fact, knowing Keith, someone asked about the reflective ink. And I called up Keith and I'm like, dude, what's the scenario here? And he gave me I thought I knew everything to know about reflective ink.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, here's really how you print it the right way. So hopefully, are we going to try to wheedle our way into
Long Beach?
Long
Yeah,
Beach?
we'll be there. We will definitely plan for Long Beach. We'll try trying to figure that out now in the next couple weeks, months. We got a Charlotte show coming up. Texsource, Indiana will be at the Indianapolis trade show.
Oh, okay.
Doug and his salesman will be there.
I used to
so-
go to that one all the time.
So if you're in the Indianapolis area, be sure to stop by and talk to Doug, say hello. We got a trade show here in Charlotte that we'll be a part of with M&R.
So does Doug have a booth up there?
Doug has his own booth. Yeah, I don't know
Wow.
what size, but he's got his own booth.
Shouldn't he fly me up there, his Indiana boy, to
If he wants to fly you up there, sure. You just
yeah.
have to take PTO
Did
from you have to take PTO from Texsource NC to go to
I-
Texsource
I-
Indy.
Well, it's supporting the company, Ryan. I mean, did you hear how his voice, the flexion of his voice got
yeah.
higher?
Yeah, he didn't want to go near that.
Yeah, he's like, sure, you could go up there.
No, I mean,
Hey,
I don't know what you should
when
do.
is it? When is it?
I have no clue.
I have some vacation. I will take it to go up there.
Ah.
Only because my wife can visit the grandbaby, and then I can, support Doug up there at Texsource. So those guys start selling more DTF machines.
I would assume we should use more of our tokens into Long Beach.
Our tokens. No, I'm saying that I'll do it from vacation, not to mess with our trade show budget. That's what I'm saying.
We'll revisit that. I don't think they care about us talking about your vacation and you going to wherever.
Yeah. I'm a prisoner here. Please help me, everyone.
But yeah, other than the trade show, I mean, what else is new we got out there? Anything that you got? I know I've got a couple of things that I've been.
Yeah.
You read throughout the industry and you pay attention to stuff. I save some of these things. I mean, some of these I've saved for a month, 2 months. First, just to bring up on the podcast and talk about. But
Yeah, I mean, hit us with that because I'm tapped as far as like new stuff besides all this we've talked about.
yeah, I mean, so some of the stuff that I saved. So, and they're all articles and various places that we've published at Texsource and other things. But so this says the topic is 10 things not to do in your screen printing shop.
Okay.
So 10 things not to do.
Was this in a magazine?
No, this was some random article.
Okay.
But it says, don't be cheap with your squeegee rubber. Replace your squeegee rubber. And if you haven't tried it, make sure to go with triple durometer squeegee rubber, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's definitely true on the auto for sure.
Even manual?
I don't know anybody that uses triple durometer on a manual except for the the squeegee. What's the name of that thing? The yellow squeegee holder. I can't think of it.
Easy grip. He called
The
me the other
Easy
day
Grip.
too. Homie's hurting.
Is he? Has he got a lot of stock?
Yeah, because everyone's doing DTF, and everyone
Manuals.
manuals aren't really popping like it used to be.
No.
Easy grip is it's rough.
It's
Anyway,
kind of a niche thing, even for.
yeah.
Well, he's going to have to just, slash the price in half and do a fire sale before, time runs out.
Just melt the plastic into something else.
No, he should sell them at a steep discount. I think he could probably get rid of them.
Yeah. Anyway, at any rate,
But that uses a triple because you
Yeah.
have so much. But triple is pretty much what you're using in the auto world. The
Yeah.
60, 90, 60s, the 70, 90,
and that's
70s.
exactly what's in this 60, 90, 60. You can explain it.
Yeah, it's the universal blade. Most operators I've ever spoken with sort of agree that the 60, 90, 60 gives you soft enough edge to lay whites down, but firm enough if you stand it up that you can still, lay a thin layer for top colors. If you only had one squeegee in all yours, that the 60, 90, 60, you could pretty much pull off anything.
What this says was 60, 90, 60 squeegee allows the soft 60 durometer angle or edge to shear the ink onto the surface of the garment, while the 90 durometer center reduces blade deflection during the print stroke.
It's almost like I wrote this shit. I think it's common knowledge among auto. That's how you really know if somebody knows the auto, if they can discuss it in that depth. So that was number 10. Don't skip out on.
I don't think they're not in order. It's just
okay.
Yeah. It gets a little weird, but I'll read some of the other ones. When it comes to ink deposits, this one came from someone in Avient. Don't coat screens one-handed and make sure you understand the importance of EOM.
One-handed, huh? Well, that's a slap on my face. Been doing that for years.
The EOM should be 20% the contact side of the screen to create a gasket for the ink to pass through. A thick stencil provides a thick deposit, which we always talk about in our classes, but
that's definitely spot on for sure. That's people do it backwards and have the emulsion over mesh, the EOM for you beginners.
So another thing not to do in your shop, this other one says, we're basically saying do not use harsh chemicals when cleaning out your screens after printing. When you're finished printing with Plastisol, do not use hot solvents like screen opener, xylene, lacquer thinner. So it's basically saying don't use a harsh chemicals. I say go ahead and use screen opener. Have a field day. Spray it. Have yourself a day.
Yeah, well, I mean that's
A last day.
Yeah, a last day. That comes with that comes with the loss of brain cells. There's a time and a place for screen opener, and for me, if that time and place comes, then I'm going to be outside somewhere. That is like instant poison in the air.
And I joke about it. I mean, clearly we don't ever use screen opener in our classes. We would if you get those certain spots that are hard to get out, that sort of thing. But
it's handy to have in a pinch when you're on the press.
But we still sell a shitload of screen opener. I mean,
it's because people are just dependent on it. They use it. I've seen people cleaning their hands with it. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know how long you expect on living, but I think that overall what they're talking about on using the harsh chemicals is I have a example of that right below us, and that's where a customer, we made a screen for them, and then they're like, this screen like all fell apart, and I can tell because they were using an air dry ink that they put some harsh chemical on it and then rubbed on it, and it ate into the stencil and broke it down, or it'll lock it up.
Yeah.
It'll change the chemistry of the emulsion, and then when the solvent dries, you've made yourself a locked screen that you'll never reclaim. So that's a good tip for sure.
And in there it did say lock up your screens, blah blah blah. So all the stuff we know, it's just good to read other.
Yeah, especially for people that like, oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah. This section says don't overheat when flashing.
Yeah, for sure.
You gonna finish what they're saying for me?
Well, a lot of times when you overheat, I mean, you can literally cook it. You just want to gel it, and then that will that will cause some issues with the adhesion of the ink coming on top of it after the fact. Like if you're over curing your underbase. Wow, that was that loud? Like
Hell's Angels have shut up.
I know. You should see my outtake from doing a voiceover earlier because this just I don't know these people with their loud tailpipes. I mean,
So it says on here, excessive heat can cause damage to fabric or cause distortion of the print.
okay, and well, they should add the adhesion too. That can be an issue. Like a lot of times you'll see where someone's like, "Hey, when I'm printing, when I have an underbase white and I'm printing red on top, I get little pits in there." A lot of times that's can be related to over flashing or over curing.
Adhesion, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
It did say this down below. When overheating the underbase, the adhesion of the colors on top.
It's as if I'm an expert in this field. Don't tell them.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
I didn't read this fully on each one of them. It's just you read the first couple sentences, you automatically know.
Yeah.
But you're filling in the blanks for me. The next one we got is
Here comes a train now. I can hear it.
there's so many freaking sounds in this area.
I know,
I don't know
dude.
what the hell's going on.
This is like New York City up in this bitch. I'm telling you, just the sounds of the city.
This one I really like, and we've always known this one. Don't overload your dryer.
Yeah. You talking about like you're stacking stuff on top of
Yeah,
each
don't
other?
overload with the amount of garments that you're putting through it because of
Yeah.
the consistency of the heat.
Yeah, it's especially fleece.
Hoodies, yeah. So back in the day when I was young printing, and this story's been through podcasts before. I'd print for the wrestling teams.
Yeah.
It's wrestling is in the winter, so I'd print sweatshirts. First time I did it, I was stacking them through, and then obviously I had issues. So that's when I first learned about the whole stacking too many garments with the dryer, especially with hoodies.
Yeah, they definitely absorb the heat. I think I think a better topic for this could be we could do our own and then discuss it. Are the top 10 biggest mistakes screen printers make? And one would be that when they buy a shop, that they shortchange themselves on buying like the little buddy dryer. That's a fucking flash cure with the belt. That's not a dryer. The longer the belt, the better. I mean, even if I had a manual shop, I'm thinking 10-foot dryer, 12-foot dryer minimum.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, if we had to do that, if we had to write these before we came in here, I'd be a pain in the ass. I wouldn't do it.
well, we could just have Adam's a writer. We could have him do it.
You
Oh,
meant
yeah, just him do it.
AI.
AI.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
I could write the top 10. We should do that.
The next one is don't cut corners when investing into a PMS mixing system.
How can you cut corners when investing? Like, I mean, I'm not sure what that means. You either buy one or you don't.
Yeah, there's not a cheap system.
There's not a cheap system. You got to buy all the pigments.
This one's basically just saying make sure to get a system that's already online that has
Who wrote that? Avient? Like they're pissed
nope.
at like some other people had some bullshit PMS, like some lowbrow ink company that makes a PMS Play-Doh mixing kit.
yeah, I mean it had to be Avient because there's Avient in here,
Yeah.
but this does not recognize someone from Avient writing it. Anyways, it says don't cut corners when investing in a PMS mixing system. But you guys are right. I mean, there are better ones out there. I mean,
Well, it's the base probably that is the
I mean, you're gonna mix with a pigment system's gonna be a whole lot better and stronger than others.
Yeah. I'm sure here. Bottom line is this. It's no secret in our industry. The more expensive inks typically are better inks. The lower end inks, they don't have the pigment strength. So use your cheaper inks on dark ink on like garments And then when you have to start underbasing, use a higher quality ink that has got better pigment, so you don't have to lay you don't have to lay it down so thick.
Pay for what you get.
Yes, exactly. In this business, pay for what we get. Now, white, I've seen some really high end whites that I think you can find something that is not right up there that actually works pretty good.
Or whoever's selling the high end white has just relabeled the shitty white and called it high end.
Yeah, like a decent white, and then said that this is like the super flux.
This is the one stroke of the industry. It's the best.
Yeah. I saw one
Lies.
stroke at the show, by the way.
How are they?
It was sad. It was like a little guy in a booth. He was just sitting there.
Well, I mean, they're based out of where? Over, I forget where they're out of, but I mean.
I don't know, but I would have thought they've been handing out samples and showing all the great stuff. And I just thought to myself, I mean, they've been around since I've been in printing. But I was just like, this is what you got? I'm sorry, One Stroke. I'm just telling you, like, you know, your booth needs to be a little more demure.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I had on this one. I mean, there's more on here, but those were kind of just the quick points. I mean, yeah, but like you said, we could make our own, but pay for what you get, just like the flash unit cure in a dryer.
Just like Papa John's, you know.
I don't know. Papa John's is decent.
Well, in the world of cheap pizza, you got Little Caesars.
Little Caesars at the bottom.
That is definitely, and I know some people that like that shit.
I like, I like the crust.
I think there's people that think Taco Bell is good Mexican food. Where
Show me some of these people.
No, seriously. I mean, there's people like, yeah, that's my favorite, you know, tacos, Taco Bell. It's the same 6 ingredients, but no, it's the mantra of Papa John's is better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Yeah.
You know, the same's going to be true in your business. If you're using, you know, good equipment and good supplies and put that with good resources, training, knowledge, then you can charge a higher price and you're going to get better customers, point blank, period. I don't know how many times over the years people would come in and complain about other screen printers and then see our prices and act like, why am I having to pay this? And I'm like, well, you know, you got to make a stand. You're going to have to pay if you want good service and good quality.
Or you come to Texsource and we already have it put together for you. The good service, good quality.
Well, like I said, I think we cater to people at all, you know, levels, whether you're just a guy that likes to print T-shirts for shits and giggles and you're getting into it. I was astonished when we were down in Georgia teaching that. It was the one-day class.
Yeah.
How many people walk into the Georgia location and buy pints?
Tons. I mean, there's so many people that walk in that building daily. It's insane.
And then Caleb, our PMS guy here, that's mixing. You know, because we have a high quality PMS system here, or the good ink, folks. He said that somebody ordered
17 pints.
17 pints. And I'm like, who in the I'm not going to call him out by name.
I mean, whatever. 17 pints.
But what can you do with a pint? I can hold that in my hand. I mean, I maybe they're just going through a R&D testing phase.
I didn't look at the name. I should have of the customer, so I could figure that one out. I have no clue. It was an online order. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm like at that price of you're paying mostly labor there. You might as well get the quart and pay a little more and get the quart if you're going to do that. The only way I can fathom 17 pints is maybe they're printing like little tiny Barbie shirts or something. They got like a little press and, you know, a pint was going to last a long time. But yeah,
you never know. They might take it and make their own mixing system.
Well, I think we've bullshitted around enough, haven't we?
I do got to pee, so I'm over here moving. I mean, I'm chugging water today, all kinds of stuff. So
I have you.
But I'm glad you went to the show, the Vegas show. I don't know what you're gonna do in Indiana, but if you're trying to go there, I don't know what to tell you. Long Beach.
No, I legitimately, this would be great. When is the Indiana show?
You asked me. I don't know.
Is it before the Charlotte
Before
show?
Charlotte. Charlotte is in November.
Oh, that might be tough to pitch in, but
It's got to be next month.
yeah, it would be a good use of my vacation time because my wife and grandson, and I'm from Indiana, and at least to stop over and see the boys for a day, make an appearance. Because I've went to that show for years when I lived in Indiana.
I had fun in Indiana one time back in the day when we had some other people working up in our location. It was fun.
Did you go to St. Elmo's?
I don't know where I went. We were running all up and down.
The famous
We got another Harvey story.
Harvey?
Harvey's got stories in every city.
Harvey.
Or
Did-
salesman, Harvey.
Yeah,
The old salesman.
did it involve alcohol?
Typically, I guess, yeah. But
Yeah.
Harvey's got stories in every city I've gone to him with. And in Nashville, he's got one. Georgia, he's got one. Indiana, we got one.
You know who our new Harvey is then?
Jacob.
It's probably Jacob.
No, Jacob's, he's good. He's reserved.
Yeah, he's
But
reserved.
Harvey's fun. He was a good guy. We all miss him. But yeah, figure out Indiana. We got our DTF class coming up, DTF workshop. We will be covering all kinds of stuff, as much as we can cover in a day. If you want to stay till 6, 7 o'clock at night, Mike will be happy to stay here with you. I leave at 5:30, 5:45, 6, something like that. But we'll help you get all your answered or questions answered, and we'll cover AI mixed with artwork, our CAD leak software, dragging stuff in, printing off rolls of film, powder slapping the paper. I mean,
Just
all
give you-
DTF. I mean, it'll be good.
just to sort of get you over your apprehensions
Yeah.
of what you'll have to be, but
It's you-
also give you the truth of like, this is what you need. You just can't bring this thing in and come up once every month and print a couple of things. So.
At $55, it's a steal.
Yeah,
At
for
least
sure.
you get food. We'll feed you some. We won't do pizza. We'll do something a little better than pizza for that class. But you will get fed and get a couple shirts, one hat, couple koozies.
Yeah, we're gonna do a bunch of stuff, aren't we?
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be simple.
Where are we gonna cut off the limit? Because I know we've got people. So I mean, this is gonna fill up, and then we'll
Have another one. Yeah, you just sign up. As many as we get, we'll have another one on Saturday.
will we?
I won't be here, but
So I'll do it by myself.
no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, podcast, Burning Pallets, another episode. We'll be at Long Beach. We'll keep cooking these, put them out, and we'll just have fun with them.
Until next time.
Yeah, we're just having fun with the podcast, BSing. We'll have some guests next time. I got a couple people lined up for the next podcast, and so it should be good.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, guys.
Peace.